Hi everybody, I'm Niamh. I'm one of the speech and language therapists for Surestart for those of you who don't know me. So today I'm going to be talking about changing time is chatting time. So this is a lovely programme for parents of babies or expectant mummies. And I'm going to deliver change time is chatting time over 2 sessions. So today we're going to look at early brain development and why what you do with your babies at this very early stage is so important for their future learning. And then next week we're going to explore the 4 key messages in a bit more detail. So by smiling, talking, laughing and singing, you're really helping to support your baby's early brain development. So we'll look at that in a wee bit more detail next week. So firstly, we're going to look at comparing our baby's brains to the brains of other mammals such as baby calves. So our baby's brains at birth are really underdeveloped. If you think about it, after birth a calf is able to shake itself off pretty quickly and recognise the feeling of hunger, and then they're able to problem solve, so they can get up, they can walk straight away, and they can locate the mummy cow and bring themselves over to the cow and self-sufficiently feed themselves. But our babies are very different. They rely on us in order to interpret their cries. So when your baby cries, you're tuning in and you're trying to play the role of detective. So you're trying to work out whether your baby's hungry, whether they want changed, or if they're uncomfortable or in pain. So babies are a lot more reliant on us as the parents or caregivers to be able to interpret those early messages. Another reason why our baby's brains aren't fully developed at birth is if you think of a 2 or 3 year old or an older child, you will see that their heads have grown massively in those early years, and that supports the fact that there's so much brain development happening, so their brains are continually growing in those early years. And if our babies were born with fully formed brains, that would put a lot of women off having them in the first place. Okay. So at birth, this brain stem is one of the only parts of the brain that's fully developed. So the brain stem is responsible for things such as crying, heart rate and breathing. So when our babies become distressed, they're able to let us know through that early communication skill of crying. And because this part of the brain is developed at birth, once their needs are met, they're able to self-regulate and calm themselves down again. So that's the function of the brain stem. So then this part of the brain is the cortex. So it's what we call the thinking part of the brain. So most connections are made after the baby is born. So in the cortex, there's lots of cells that are hanging around ready to connect, but they're only able to connect through experiences. And it's the experiences that we give our babies that help with these cells connecting in the brain. Okay, so as you can see, the newborn baby has plenty of cells hanging around ready to connect. And then from 1 month to 9 months to 2 years to an adult brain, you can see how rapidly these cells are connecting in the brain, and this is through repeated experiences. So our babies again rely on us to interpret early communication such as crying, and then by responding to your baby, you're providing them with an experience and they learn. And the more that experience is repeated, so the more responsive you are to your baby, the more you're helping those cells in the brain to connect continually. And you might think that babies go from communicating only through crying to then in a couple of months' time they might start experimenting with their sounds and then using words. You might think they start to just talk naturally, but it's actually what we do as the parents that supports their brain development and help them to learn. Okay, so it's nothing fancy, it's just simply human interaction. So talking with you builds my brain. So by having lots of lovely interactions with your babies throughout the day, you are helping their brains to grow. And it's just that idea of being responsive. So you're tuning in to your baby's crying. If they're fussing or giggling, you're tuning in to all those early communication skills and then you're responding. I once came across a lovely phrase that love builds brains. So it's you as the parent that helps your baby's brains to grow. And it's just by providing stimulation and being responsive. Okay, so it's a bit like making a pathway in a field. So the more you walk over the field, the more permanent a path becomes. So similarly with our baby's brains, the more experiences are repeated over and over again, the more permanent that pathway becomes. And by being responsive and interacting with your babies are going to take so much enjoyment out of that. So that will then encourage them to keep on wanting to interact with you more and more. Okay, so the 4 key messages are smile, talk, laugh and sing. So we want to encourage you to get into a daily habit of smiling, talking, laughing and singing with your babies when you're changing your baby's nappies. Because if you think about it, you might be changing your baby's nappies up to 10 times a day. So that's lots of opportunities for you and your baby to have lovely, valuable interactions. And in effect, that helps your baby's lifelong learning because you're building up those lovely cells in the brain, helping them to connect. And through repeated experiences, those pathways become more permanent in the brain. So we're going to look at these in a wee bit more detail next week. If you have any queries or questions, please get in touch with me. I hope you enjoyed that overview of early brain development today. And if you enjoyed the video, please give us a wee like or comment because we really value your feedback. And I look forward to talking to you again next week. Thank you. Bye.